The forest was quiet, but not the peaceful kind of quiet. It was the heavy, waiting kind of silence that presses against your ears and makes you feel like you're being watched. The three of them stood at the edge of the woods, staring at the twisted shape in the distance.
There it is,
Liam said, pointing.
Told you it was real.
Ellie's eyes narrowed.
It's just a treehouse, Liam. Probably old. Someone's grandpa built it or something.
Then why didn't anyone tell us about it?
Liam shot back, smirking like he'd already won.
They're scared of it, that's why.
Josh glanced back toward the village.
We're not supposed to be out here. My mom's gonna freak.
Then go back.
Liam shrugged.
Ellie and I will check it out ourselves.
Josh's face twisted with uncertainty, but he stayed. They moved through the underbrush, crunching leaves and snapping twigs with every step. The treehouse grew clearer the closer they got. It wasn't just an old, abandoned playhouse. Its wooden planks were rough and blackened, like it had been burned but never fully consumed. Strange carvings, lines, and spirals covered every inch of it.
See, told you it's weird.
Liam said, stepping forward.
Come on, let's go up.
No way.
Josh said immediately.
Look at it. It's not safe. It's probably gonna fall if you breathe on it too hard.
Ellie's eyes stayed locked on one of the carvings. It looked like a face, hollow eyes, and an open, screaming mouth. She shook her head.
I'm with Josh. We've seen it. Let's go.
You're both babies,
Liam said, already grabbing one of the hanging ropes. He pulled himself up with surprising ease. His shoes thudded on the wooden planks of the platform above.
See? It's fine. Stop being scared of everything.
Josh and Ellie glanced at each other, then followed. The platform creaked but held firm. Inside, the walls were covered in more carvings. Some were crude, like a kid had scratched them in with a rock. Others were more intricate, spirals and eyes that seemed to follow them wherever they moved.
Okay, we saw it.
Ellie said.
Can we leave now?
Liam's back was to them, crouched near one of the carvings.
These symbols, I've seen these before.
He muttered.
Where?
Josh asked, his voice tight. Liam's fingers brushed over one of the spirals.
In my dreams,
he said, eyes wide, voice distant.
I've seen them in my dreams.
Dude, stop being weird.
Ellie said, pulling at his arm.
Come on.
But as soon as she touched him, the spiral he'd been touching glowed. Faint at first, but then brighter. A dull, angry red. All three of them froze, breath held tight in their chests.
What did you do?
Josh hissed.
Nothing.
Liam's voice was panicked now.
I didn't do anything.
A low hum filled the air. It didn't seem to come from anywhere. It just existed, vibrating through their bones. The glow faded as suddenly as it had started, but the hum stayed.
We're leaving,
Ellie said firmly, pulling both of them toward the rope ladder. They didn't argue. That night, Josh woke up to tapping at his window. Tap, tap, tap. He sat up, heart hammering in his chest. His room was dark except for the faint glow of the streetlight outside. Slowly, he turned to the window. His breath caught in his throat. There was a hand. Just a hand. Pressed flat against the glass. Pale fingers splayed wide. No arm, no body, just a hand. He threw the blanket over his head and didn't sleep until dawn. The next day, Josh wasn't at school. Ellie tried texting him, but he didn't reply. After school, she and Liam biked to his house. His mom's car was in the driveway, but when they knocked on the door, nobody answered.
Maybe he's sick,
Liam said. But Ellie's eyes stayed on the window. There was something drawn in the condensation on the glass. A spiral. That night, Ellie dreamed of the treehouse. She was inside it, alone, and the walls were breathing. The planks of wood rose and fell in slow, steady movements, like lungs taking in air. She tried to move, but something was holding her feet down. She looked down and saw the spirals carved into the floorboards, glowing red. The breathing stopped. The wood, the whole house, exhaled. She woke up gasping, heart pounding so hard it hurt. Her phone buzzed on her nightstand. A message. It was from Josh. One word. Help. Liam and Ellie returned to the treehouse at dusk. This time, they came with chalk, candles, and salt. Ellie's grandmother, the one who always knew things, had told them how to close a space.
Draw the circle, close it with fire.
She'd said.
Don't leave it open.
They didn't talk as they worked. The hum had returned. It wasn't in the air anymore. It was in their heads.
Light it,
Ellie said, voice strained. She glanced at the spiral on the wall. It was glowing again. They hadn't touched it this time. Liam's hands shook as he struck the match, but he lit the candle. The flames danced. The glow on the wall pulsed brighter, then dimmer. Brighter. Dimmer. Tap, tap, tap. Their heads snapped toward the door. There was no one there. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the ceiling.
Don't look up,
Ellie said, voice tight with fear. Her fingers tightened on the chalk, drawing faster, closing the circle. Tap, tap, tap. It was louder now, closer, right above them.
Hurry, Ellie.
Liam's voice cracked.
Done.
She shouted, completing the circle. The candles flared bright. The tapping stopped. The hum stopped. The glow in the spirals vanished. They didn't wait. They ran. That night, Josh's mom called.
He's back.
She said, confused but relieved.
He's different.
Ellie's phone buzzed at midnight. A photo message. It was a picture of her bedroom wall. A new drawing had been scratched into it. A spiral,